Welcome to a real-world demo of AllStays Camp and RV. This is a whirlwind tour of all the functions and features of the AllStays Camp and RV app. It is really quite powerful. We start off on a map view. At any location we can select and get the detailed information. The data is always on the app with or without service. The map requires the internet to show. We have directions for most points. We have amenities. We have the phone number, website, directions, buttons for images, which brings up an image search. We use the power of the web rather than try to have one source of images for 25,000 campgrounds. That just isn't going to happen with one person. We use reviews. We have a filtered search engine that only goes to TripAdvisor, RVParkReviews.com, Yelp, About.com, only trusted sources. We have a search box. We can go to another city. We type in the city, space, the state abbreviations works best. We hit done, and the map will go there. We have a limit of 150 points on the map, so when you get into a real congested area, it might do that. We zoom in a little bit and get our map points. We have the powerful filter option here. Everything from the type of campground, say independents, county and city parks, KOAs, which we're not going to see very many of. We can see Walmarts that we can park overnight at, or ones that we can't. We can see low clearance bridges. We can see RV dealers. We can see extra dump places. This is beyond campgrounds like wastewater treatment places. We can look for rest areas in different directions. With Wi-Fi, we can look for only Cabela's, Camping World, Costco's, various stores to get our supplies at. We can just get propane. We can find truck stops of various kinds. Let's go back there. We have the Advanced tab. If we only want to see truck stops, we can do that. If we only want to see campgrounds, forget everything else, we can do that as well. As you can see, we'll only see places that you can stay overnight at. We can look for particular discounts. We can look for campgrounds with dump stations. We can go to a tents only mode if you like to tent camp. On the various amenities here. We can even get down to fast food at truck stops. We can look for certified techs. We can look for places that sell parts. We can look for various dealers. And we can do a combination. We could find a campground that has a dump station and propane. The more you choose, the more likely you are to blank the map, of course. Up here we have a help function. We can also add places to apps. Over here we have the manual lookup. This works offline because the data is on the device at all times. We can select a state, and then we can look and see only certain points again. If we want to see only the state parks in Colorado, we'll get a nice state map of those. And then we can also look by city as well and jump right to that location. We can look at only forest campgrounds. We can select an area that has multiple locations, such as around Bayfield. We can select to see county and city parks. We can also select just independent truck stops. We can also see independent campgrounds there, all of them. We can then choose amenities if we want an independent campground with laundry, and a playground, we can go back and then see what our options are. We have 17 KOAs, we have 87 independents. This now only shows us the locations with the amenities that we were looking for. And then we can pick by town and go to that detailed point as well. If at any point you get away from where you are, you can tap this compass button and it will go right back to your location where you can zoom in. Follow along the map. The points load automatically as you go. When you get to big cities, you'll probably have to zoom in because of the number of points. Or alternatively, if you're only looking for campgrounds, we can go back in here, select and see only campgrounds, and that'll make it a little bit easier to scroll around, get rid of all those extra points. On this view, we can choose multiple points. So the more you choose, the map accumulates and shows all those points. On this view, they are cumulative, so you're not going to be able to look for a truck stop with a swimming pool. You will just get a blank map. Important things to remember. And that is a quick overview of Campin' RV.